was on mute all the time. Wow. Oh, I just did such a nice introduction as well. I was on mute all the time. So I guess I have to say everything from the beginning. Yeah. So first of all, good luck to all the drivers in the party. Yeah, good luck to all the drivers who are in the chat right now. And I guess I have to run through the standings again. So basically, 2 Ferraris and 2 Force Indias is what you have to watch for. Tom Killer and Alex Killer, 2 Ferraris on top of the constructor standings, 22 points ahead of the 2 Force Indias, which is Bad Boy in P2 in the driver standings, and Greenwich Beer P4 in the driver standings, 1 point behind Tom Killer, who's in P3. So up the driver standings, there is Alice Killer on 154 points, 3 wins in season 4, the most equalled by Bad Boy in P2, who is 21 points behind the Ferrari. And certainly with 4 rounds to go, we're gonna have to keep an eye out on these two for the Drivers' World Crown battle for season 4, and certainly the world champion will be heading to F1 next season, so these drivers are going to give it their all to try and get the championship. Sectors 1, we have yellow flags. I'm not sure. That is a Toro Rosso spinning. I'm not sure which Toro Rosso that is. That might be Suomi. No, it's not. Yeah, I'm not sure what the Toro Rosso car. I think it's Robin actually. Yeah, it is Robin in turn 2. But let's ride on board with Alex Killer and see what he can do on the first run. Hello Falcon and hello Kalek, the MLG Falcon. For your information, there's no one else accepted for stage 2, 3 and 4, so good luck with getting the code for them. Bad Boy to F1 says Kalek. Be optimistic. We may see Grimsby, I think, has to help him get through all the Ferraris there. I think throughout the season, Grangebeard did say, and also Tom Killer did say, that there would be a clear number 2 driver helping their teammates get the Drivers' Championship. I didn't play the beta at all today, so I don't know how I'm sweating a Falcon. Slight corner cut there from Alice Killer, might be an invalidation for him on the first lap on the last corner. No, it's not. It's a benchmark of a 28.7, easily beaten by Bad Boy by almost 6/10 there. 28.144 for the Force India. Johnny goes P4 with a very slow lap. Yeah, I think a lot of people will be watching the World Cup, and so would I if I wasn't commentating, but ERL comes first. This is also a very good game from what I saw. But yeah, it's what it is. How about the F1 ERL then? Still not practiced for any of the leagues I'm in this weekend. Maybe you've practiced for ERL F1. Alex Killer then still in the front row. Bad Boy is still on pole with only 7 drivers to have completed a lap, pretty much 5 with a very representative one. Grangebeer on the other Force India, it's a 35-1 for him. Another slow lap from Spaghetti, maybe heating up the tyres. Still in P7, this beats Johnny, who's still in P8. Seems like he's managed to be still down on his delta time. Not sure if this is actual pace. Hope it's not. 17 seconds off the pace. Who knows? Who knows? I definitely don't. I don't know if you do. Tom Killer, Warlock, Robin and Suomi, 4 drivers yet to have set a lap. And Tom Killer being one of the main factors in the driver standings, let's say, not a title contender. but a clear number 2 driver stated as him. He's not going to be wanting to start P9, letting Alex Killer do all the job for Ferrari. There is indeed 4 races left: Japan, Mexico, Brazil and Abu Dhabi. I don't know which car you would be in. You would be a reserve. Hope we don't have less than 20 drivers in. McLaren versus Toro Rosso again, stated by Chill Drive, the biggest fight. Let's see how that looks like in the constructors then, because I actually have no idea. It is 1 point separating these two teams for P3 in the standings. Toro Rosso leading Honda by 1 point. 1 extra win for Toro Rosso, none for McLaren. And there's also a Haas 28 points behind McLaren with 2 wins. So not a great consistency. I would imagine the drivers being Seppins and no one. Oh, and Kahikes. Okay, so 4 points for them. Must have been a different driver racking up those points for Haas, as everyone is making their way back to the pits to fit on a new compound as always. Let's see then. Outlap for Johnny, outlap for Robin, Toro Rosso and Red Bull out on track. Spaghetti also made his way up into P3 before we saw. The championship is being led by me, 7 points ahead of Calic Rist in F1. Race tomorrow, 5 PM BST. Streamed on this channel. Johnny, I'll tell you in a second, I think he's around P10 in the driver standings. He is P10 in the driver standings indeed. 4 points behind P9, 4 points ahead of his teammates in P11. Red Bull in P6 in the constructors. I think there couldn't be a more average season for Red Bull. P10, P11 for the drivers, P6 in the constructor standings. So let's see what he can do, and his teammates as well. Maledictus in P4, Johnny himself in P8, starting his lap now on max fuel. He has got 3 and something of laps to burn. So let's see what he can do on the Red Bull. We're gonna ride on board with him for a bit before we head to the championship contenders of the Ferraris into turn 1. Johnny goes very tidy indeed, hitting the apex of turn 2. And into turns 3, 4, very wide, using a lot of the track there. And into turn 6 now. And the uphill Dunlop curve. In the sector 1 split, let's see how much he's up by. He's up by, I cannot see, because this game's awesome. He's probably up by a bit. Into the hairpin now in the sector 2. Second gear through there, easy on the power. I'm not sure if he's on the pad or the wheel. It looks like he's on the pad, to be honest, because he has got a new wheel intact. It does seem like he's on the pad at the moment. See through sector 2 now, approaching the split of sector 2. I've got yellow flags in sector 1. Still yellow flags in sector 1. That is Suomi in the S's. As Johnny approaches the last chicane. Might be on the wheel. Yeah, it looks like he's on the wheel actually, now you say that. Through the last chicane. Let's see how much he's going to be improved by. It looks like a pretty decent lap. So 29.2. Goes quicker than his teammate by half a second. Johnny locks out the second row for the time being. But let's see what the Ferraris can do. Alex Killer and especially Tom Killer, who's not set a lap yet. Warlock, Robin and Suomi as well. Suomi with some problems in the first sector. Let's see if he's got enough fuel to do another lap. It's a slight corner cut by Alex Killer there, and I think that was invalid. as he is aborting his lap. Let's see what Bad Boy is doing on the track right now. He's not on a good lap. That was a shuffle up in the order. That was Robin in P2. Knocks out Alex Killer from the front row. 28.6, still nowhere near Bad Boy's lap. Tom Killer on the softs, actually. And Warlock also on the soft. So two soft runners here. Tom Killer is approaching the last chicane. It looks like he is on a very fast lap. I don't think it's going to put him anywhere near the two front rows. But let's see what it is across the line. It actually looks like a pretty decent lap. So 29.3. It is just outside the top 3 rows. Actually, it's only P7 for Tom Killer as Maledictus retires from P8. Let's see what Warlock can do. The other soft runner, I think they're the only two ones. Yeah, the best timing currently fitted is the softs for these two. Johnny comes back in the pits, only going to manage P6 or worse. Warlock around the final 2 corners. Looks like a decent lap. I think it's going to be just below Tom Killer. It is indeed. It's a 29.5. P8 for him. As Grangebeer goes P2 on a 28.4. Missed that as well. Bad Boy is still on pole, and I think he's actually going to stay there. But he is on a flying lap at the moment. It's a front row lockout from Force India. Can he stay like this for the remaining 2.5 minutes left on this session? Let's see. Through the spoon curves and onto the sector 2 split. It's 3.5 tenths up for the Force India driver. This could be a high 27 for Bad Boy. Could this be the pole lap for today's qualifying session? Across the line for Bad Boy, this is going to be a 27. It's going to be a 27.705 for Bad Boy on pole by over 7 tenths of a second. Cannot manage anything for Tom P5 on those softs. Only half a tenth behind his teammate. Grangebeer locks out the front row for Force India with Chill Drive through the last chicane. Let's see what he can do as well. He's currently outside the top 10. Can he go inside it across the line? I don't think he can. I didn't even make it to the line there. And it is going to be pole for Bad Boy. It is going to be a front row lockout for the Indian team. Force India on pole. Robin in P3, another very strong qualifying session. Alex Killer just behind him in P4. Tom Killer in P5. Spaghetti P6. Johnny in P7. Mystic Man in P8. Warlock on the softs in P9. Maledictus rounds off the top 10 with Chill Drive and Swami Peluri outside the top 10, getting a free choice of tyres for the race. As we head now to the 27 lap race, 50% race. As I've heard, it is going to be dry, so we're looking at a clean race here. It is indeed for the start of the race, as drivers are adjusting their fuel loads and setup changes. But it is now 2-3 to Spain. Jesus Christ, completely irrelevant, but oh well, I have to keep up with that too. I'm missing a wonderful game. I'm very sad about that. There's already been 3 goals in the fucking second half, and there's only 15 minutes of it. Anyway, back in the action for F2 here. As we are about to get the formation lap underway. Don't go anywhere now, because this is where all the action starts. Japan has been a good track for action in ERL. And Bad Boy leads them away on the formation lap. Let's see what the 2 Force Indies can do. I don't think Grangebeer is gonna challenge Bad Boy on this race. I think it's just gonna work as a number 2 driver, trying to hold off the Ferraris and Robin. I think this is definitely going to be a very interesting race with Robin on the middle of those two. He's being sandwiched by the big boys in Force India and Ferrari. And this sort of battle in Season 3 F1. Force India versus Ferrari all along the season. Having it again in F2. Arguably the most exciting tier of them all in ERL. As you can see there, the two Ferraris getting very close to the Force Indias. Playing some mind games here in the third sector ahead of the round 11 Grand Prix start. I think it's gonna be a classic here. Very close to the end of the season, very close to fold off another F1 game, as we're gonna head to F1 2018 in a couple of months' time. Hope we have some nice races to round off this game. And here we have the end of the formation lap. Bad Boy is gonna line up on P1 with Grangebier just behind him in P2. Two Ferraris starting in P4 and 5 with Robin sandwiched between them. I think I'm gonna see a more aggressive Alex Killer in this round. So everyone has already lined up on their grid slots as we are getting ready for round 11 of Season 4 here in Formula 2. It's the Japanese Grand Prix, and the McLaren of Suomi I think is just lining up now in P12. As the lights are now coming on and the hype is revving up. It is lights out and round 11 is underway. Very good start from Grangebier. Bad Boy I think is going to fend him off into turn 1. Alex Killer already down the inside of Robin for P3 and is already up into P3. Tom Killer tries to make it P3 and P4 for the Ferraris, but it stays in P5. Johnny Maledictis very close as well to the Ferraris in P6 and 7. We're seeing a very... Oh, as Alex Killer there, as Tom Killer him down in P6 and now down to P7 as Maledictis is going to try and go around the outside. They've crashed and they're both off. Tom Killer is out and Chill Drive is off the race. He's retired his McLaren. He's lost his front left tyre. Maledictis retired as well. Suomi is very far down the back in the medium tyres. Tom Killer, disaster start for the number 2 driver in Ferrari. Warlock as well in P8 only. Mystic Man with a lot of damage on his front wing, so not a great start for these guys. Alex Killer though up into P3 already. Bad Boy not a great first lap, to be fair. He's only 5/10 set of Grangebier. He wants to pull away right now as Robin is already out of the DRS zone. See what Johnny can do as well. Only 6/10 behind the Toro Rosso driver. Very unfortunate by Chill Drive. Mystic Man now. Oh, he's off. He's lost his front left tire as well. Warlock is off with no front wing too. What has happened there in 130R? Warlock's gonna have to make his way back to the pits now, as we're only left with 9 runners now. Spaghetti loses the back end there in the first couple of corners, as Johnny's still very close to Robin. As I say that, it goes in the gravel in the S's in the first sector, down in P6, and he's gonna be down in P7 after Tom Killer passes him as well. So the Ferraris are in P3 and P6. Force India still in 1-2, still in order. Robin is slightly losing time. That's because he's got front wing damage. I just saw that. He's pretty much lost all of his front left end plate from what I can see on this camera angle. Doesn't look too bad from the broadcast, but now Grangebier is off the DRS zone. I think he's trying to save some fuel, maybe trying to hold off Alice Killer, try to lose him as much time as possible, but we'll see how that fares to the rest of the race, as Bad Boy now makes it a gap of 1.2 seconds to the run to the last chicane. Gap between P2 and P3 is now under 6 tenths. Yes, nobody leave the session please. It does cause a slipstream glitch quite a lot. As you can see, the only gap inside the DRS is between Alice Killer and Grangebeer. As it stands right now, the gap would be 11 points into the next race, but we obviously got another 25 laps of racing left where anything can happen. Strategy is also going to come into play. I think it's going to be an easy one stop, to be fair. Soft for the second stint, I think, for most people. As Johnny is now retired from the race in the exit of the second spoon curve, or the second Degner, sorry. Front right tyre has gone off the Red Bull car. We're now left with 8 runners on this session. Suomi, Warlock running the medium tyres, Tom Killer running the softs, and the top 5 on the super soft tyres, the tyre they started qualifying on. So Alice Killer is now dropped behind a second from Grangebeer, which is not what we want to see. Don't have a back now on track. Want to see one. It's pretty stale pace from the top 3. That's why no one can catch anybody. Alice Killer saving quite a lot of fuel, or maybe he's just saving some tyre. It's all plain sailing from the start. These top 3, just Alice Killer got position from Robin on the start, who still got damage. Mystic Man has now left the session. That's not what we asked for. Will cause a pretty considerable amount of slipstream loss, which is going to affect the racing quite a lot, as Suomi is lost it in the exit of the second corner. And it hasn't got any damage, but I think he's going to retire the car, as he's a lot of seconds behind P6, and with a... No, he's not. Okay, he's going to carry on, so fair enough for the Renault. Still got 6 points on board with the finishes like that, but he is struggling on those mediums at the moment. As Spaghetti is caught right up to Robin now, and the entry to 130R. He is looking very close to the Toro Rosso. Toro Rosso with damage, as we said, so Robin, I think, could have been in the fight for the podium positions had he not got damage. I think it was on the back of Alice Killer in the start, where the Ferrari passed him, and I think in the second corner first lap, I think he got a bit of damage on his front left end plate, so now he is going to struggle for the rest of the first stint. And when it comes time to repair the damage, he's going to lose a bit more time, about 5 seconds in the pit stop, and I don't know when he's going to pit, because this is certainly losing a lot of time. I wouldn't mind a second commentator, to be honest. I think if... Oh, as we say, that Spaghetti lose the back end. Perhaps a bit of dirty air there, which he hadn't got for the first 5 laps. Experience of dirty air put him off a bit in the Dunlop curve. Okay, fair enough on the wheel. I don't mind a second commentator if you want Shield Drive, or Johnny, anyone. And Shield Drive made the request, so if you want, I could invite you to commentate alongside. Pop me an invite. I will pop you an invite right now. Would help if you didn't appear offline, to be honest. But an invite has been popped now. I'm back streaming. So we've lost 2 viewers. Tom Killer very close to Spaghetti after the mistake the Williams made. 1.6 now is the gap, which is actually the closest one we have got on the circuit right now. Let's see if we can get any closer. 1.4 now into the first couple of corners. The Ferrari does want to have a strong pace on the first stint on those soft tyres. With Alex Killer losing a lot of time here. I'm not sure, he had a bit of gravel there as we switched to his POV, so he might have got off the track. Hello, Chill Drive.
Hello.
So Tom Killer's now caught another 10th on the first sector. He's lost it again on this split. Yeah, sure, I could have I actually have a notification on my phone when a goal happens, so Cowley, sure, you can keep the chat updated on the score. Let's see what it is. It's still 2-3. Oh my pillow fell. Hello, Chill Drive.
Yeah, hello.
Can't hear Chill Drive at the moment.
Stupid.
Oh, something's happening now. Can you hear something? Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So we have still got Tom Killer and Spaghetti about 1.5 separated. 2 seconds between Alex Killer and Grangebeer. As Bad Boy has made a 3.1 second gap between himself and his teammate. It's looking very good for the constructors as well. It would be 43 points for them in the championship, and it would be 23 for Ferrari, so the gap on the constructors will go down to 2 points with 3 races to go. But the gaps are very close, so points could be gained or lost by the Ferraris and the Force Indies as well. And getting close to the pit window now.
Pretty big lead on McLaren after this. And the constructors.
Indeed, Warlock down in P7, Robin doing all the job right now in P4 with Mitchell not attending today's race on the other Toro Rosso seat, and also Chill Drive retired and pretty early on in the race. So
yeah, Tom Killer just spun in front. I mean, I was forced into win by Spaghetti.
Yeah, I didn't quite see your incident because I think it was Tom Killer and Maledictis that tangled up, so I was keeping an eye out on them.
Maledictis went around the outside and collected Tom Killer, who just spun in the middle of the track, and then Spaghetti braked to avoid it, so that kind of just forced me into the side of Tom Killer.
Okay, so that's unlucky. To be fair, yeah, qualifying that far down does have a lot of danger there. As an incident happens, you can just get tangled up on it so easily. As Robbie now makes his first stop, change of wing, as we said, he's going to lose him a few seconds, which is probably going to demote. Okay, he's just gone out of the pit box for me. Right. Mike, during the game in the first half, I'm pretty sure the commentator said Iberica. That's cool. Although I still don't know what it means. I think it's just a location in Spain. Paso de Iberica, something like that. Maybe, I don't know. I think it's just a city in Spain or an island in Spain, something like that.
Robin should be going to the end now on mediums.
Yeah, I think so. It's quite early on, so he may struggle now for pace. Maybe the super soft are still quicker than the fresh mediums, but we'll see. Tom Killer, as we say, the softs are now working on lap pace compared to the super softs. Is now half second behind Spaghetti Chips, who seems to have some rather slow lines through the sprung curves and lost a bit of time to the last chicane. Now you can see good straight line speed from Tom Killer too, allows him to get under 3/10 of the Williams in front. Now pits, so Spaghetti in the pits, I would imagine for medium tyres. seeing how much the super softs lasted on the Williams.
Softs.
Softs, actually. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's going to be interesting. That's 19 laps on them. Yeah, it's going to be a struggle, I think. Tom Killer will be looking to pump in those quick laps now to not allow the undercut to work all too much. He still wants to be about 3 or 4 seconds. Suomi now lost it. He's lost his front right end play on the exit of the second Degner, so the Renault is missing a lot of front wing. The race isn't going great for Suomi, qualifying I think in last position, and now he's still last in P8. I think he may retire. I don't blame him. Yeah, well, no safety car. I don't think he's gonna get anything else than P8 unless someone retires. Robin with a 3-second penalty. I'm pretty sure that's the first one we see today on lap 9. So, it's quite close up in the lead. I'm not sure why.
Oh, wow.
Oh wow, Alex Killer makes it down the inside of both of the Force Indias into the last chicane. He loses the back end, and now Grangebier is up the inside again. Bad Boy and all the top 3 except Grangebier back in the pits. I was about to say the gap was 4 seconds between the top 2.
Bad
and
Boy has damage.
Bad Boy has damage. Wow, so front wing change, and that sees the P1 lost and probably P2 lost as well for Bad Boy. Maybe P2 can be regained as Grangebier will be second place by the time he pits, but that is disaster for Bad Boy, losing his front wing on the last lap of his pit stint, and that's gonna allow Alex Killer in the lead. He's also on softs. Oh wow, Alex Killer's on mediums. Okay, so that is another interesting factor to this race. All blown up really. 4 tenths separating P1, P2 and then P3, where it was 4 seconds. It was about 6 seconds between all of them. Yeah, really caught me by surprise. Yeah, I think Bad Boy lost his front wing, and then Grangebier must have just got stuck behind him. So that was an interesting part of the race, end of the first stint, and pretty much the gaps have been minimized. Alex Killer does get the effective race lead, but I think it will go down to Grangebier versus Alex Killer for the win of this race. Warlock loses his front wing on the Dunlop curve, I believe the end of sector 1, and he is going to have to make a pit stop. Not a great race for Warlock either, for the McLarens, should I say. I don't think he's actually going to lose P7 for the time being, but let's see now. Grangebier makes his stop for medium tires as well, so 17 laps. He made 10 laps on super softs. I'm pretty sure he could have made 17 on softs, because now I think that's going to allow Alex Killer not to just get the lead, but pretty much to hang on to it for the rest of the race, because he wasn't that much slower than Grangebier, and the gap is now well over 3 seconds. About 3 seconds actually.
Do you think Grangebier will let Bad Boy through? We've seen that a few times this season.
Yeah.
Considering he's on quicker tyres as well.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a matter of time before Bad Boy gets past either way. But Tom Killer still carrying on. Alex Killer's off. Alex Killer is off in Dunlop curve on the medium tyres. I don't think it's working great for him, this decision. I think he should have gone softs. Not sure there, bit of understeer. He hasn't got damage, but Bad Boy, as we said, down the inside of Grangebier, makes a move done on the hairpin. And he now takes the lead of the race. He regains it, actually, after 2 laps, which seemed complete disaster for the Force India driver. Alex Killer, very bad mistake, and now down to P6. I think it is actually P6 effectively. Even Tom Killer is going to jump him, and this is just a nightmare for Alex Killer. 21-point gap in the driver standings, and is now going to go down the drain for the Ferrari driver, and also in the constructors. I think they might actually lose the lead after this race.
Yeah.
Crucial mistake by Alex Killer.
I guess he's put a bit of pressure on going into as well. 'Cause, you know, he's got to be able to do it. 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 He's
Yeah, Spaghetti's caught right up, and I think he is going to the end on those softs, so that's exactly what you should do, picking all the pieces after a lot of battles, front wing losses from the leaders, and now Spaghetti is effectively in a P3, a podium position, and he could well get into P2 with Grangebury on mediums, the Williams on softs, and it's a very good race so far for Spaghetti. Also Robin repairing the front wing. Now we can see his true pace, although mediums. He pitted quite early on, so no surprise for that on the mediums. So yeah, 5/10s now between Spaghetti and Grangebury. See what happens between these two. 1.1 between the Force Indias, with Tom Killer also losing a considerable amount of time to Bad Boy, now on worn softs.
Spaghetti did break checking a few times going into the first couple of years, which contributed to the timing. Not a lot.
Okay. So let's see how Spaghetti fares on this battle now. Very good exit off the last corner. DRS is wide open on the Williams as Tom Killer meanwhile makes his stop. Let's see where he comes out as well. Spaghetti ever so close to Grangebury, who doesn't even bother defending. That was a bit too far away for Spaghetti to do any sort of move, and indeed Tom Killer is in front of Alice Killer. Still on mediums for Tom Killer, sorry. Pitted on lap 12, but yeah, it was on softs actually, so he would have gone a lot more laps to go on the super softs. Obviously going on the softs would have disqualified him. Spaghetti still ever so close to Grangebury. 2/10s, 3/10s now separating these two. Could he go for a move on the hairpin? He is indeed actually down the inside, banging wheels. A very harsh move from Spaghetti. Up into P2 he goes. Clean move. Grangebury is coming back, and it's a huge crash between these two. Spaghetti's in the wall. Grangebury with no damage or anything spins Spaghetti off. Didn't quite get a great look from that angle, but that did seem really weird.
I mean, I was watching Grangebury. Grangebury was trying to go down the inside. There wasn't really a gap there. Kind of just went into the back of Spaghetti and spun around.
Okay, so that might well be Grangebury's fault there. Lap 14.
This is very wide there.
Yeah, Spaghetti has got a lot of damage. I think he's gonna pit this lap. Alice Killer up into P5.
Promoted Robin up to the podium.
Yeah, and also promoted the Ferraris up a couple of positions. So if anything, Grangebury hampered for India there, sending Spaghetti down to P6. Again, fits on medium tyres. Is getting even weirder now with the strategies. Softs not used a lot on this race. You can see only Bad Boy is on softs from the top. 6, yeah, 6. Oh wow, Robin into the gravel. He's got gravel on all 4 tyres, pretty much. 1.9 now the gap. Between Robin and Tom Killer. Yeah, I think Robin is still safe for the podium at the moment. Both of them medium tyres. And Robin did seem to be quicker than Tom on qualifying.
Yeah, I can definitely see a penalty going run off this way on the accident, especially because he didn't wait for Spaghetti after the incident as well.
And yeah, we did see Robin with a corner cutting penalty as well. Tom Killer with no warnings or anything like that.
Bad Boy has 1 warning. Grangebury has 2 warnings.
Oh yeah, might well be from collision.
Alice Killer has a penalty.
Okay, Alice Killer's also got a penalty, but doesn't need to worry about that And it's 6 seconds to Spaghetti behind. Yeah. Tom Killer did state he would help Alex Killer as much as he could. So maybe he may let him through after he tries to get past Robin, because of course that could be a podium for him. He doesn't want to lose that. But again, yellow flags, and again that's for Swomy, who now gets lapped by Williams. That was Spaghetti.
Tom Killer might just try and hold up Robin to allow Alice to catch up.
Yeah, he's not quite catching up himself to Robin though. Still 1.9, so might be a struggle. You can also see 0.6 to your fuel. That's not going to help him, to be fair. Let's see what about Robin. Yeah, 1.4 for Robin. He's on rich mix. And Alex Kills on 3 laps of fuel. Hasn't been on rich for much since the start actually. You can see he's still putting it on lean for the corners. Tom Killer might be catching here and there. A 10th gain now in the last sector, and again it's just lost just like that. Gonna have to wait and see the next couple of laps if he has got the pace to catch Robin. If he does, it's probably gonna happen in these 2 or 3 laps now.
At the start of this season I thought my luck had improved slightly from the last season, but apparently not.
Yeah, game doesn't help too much.
It's just got worse after the second half of the season.
Wish we had that safety car. Oh, it's 3-3 now.
Although I did get the podium in this game, Chris Grimsby didn't send his penalties to the stewards to be able.
Wow. Oh, completely irrelevant, but a hat-trick for Ronaldo.
Already any battles going on there? 2 seconds to space now.
Yeah, not really. Tom Killer is losing time now. And from what it seems like, it's over 2 seconds the gap. Robin does confirm the pace he had on qualifying, and Bad Boy also steady in P1, 5 seconds in front of Grangebeer. Yeah, not much to talk about here. Still 2.1, Tom Killer and Robin. So effectively Tom Killer is in P3 with Robin's penalty, but he has to stay there until the end of the race, which is still 10.5 laps away. Tom Killer slightly catching on the second sector. Gap now again under 2 seconds. He's managing the fuel quite well, to be fair. Robin has burned up a bit from the final lap. Oh, his Robin is now... Oh, Grangeby has got damage. Grangeby has got damage now on his Force India, and Robin is well inside the second gap. It's going to be interesting to see. Grangeby is losing a heap of time here. Very, very interesting. Rare mistake from Grangeby. Loses a lot of his front wing, which is certainly going to cost him a chance for the podium here. Grangeby are losing a lot of time. You can see through the S's on the first sector especially. Robin has just got much more downforce through these corners, and I think if he doesn't rush things too much, Robin is gonna get P2 here. And he also needs to do it quite quickly as Tom Killer is catching up as well. And Robin has got that time penalty to cover. He's got 3 seconds added on to his race time. Grangebier fends off P2 now.
If you think about it from a championship perspective, he's probably going to want to let Robin through at his once. It's just allowing Tom Killer to catch up.
Yeah, but I think Grangebier still thinks they can hold off P2 somehow. He's got way less downforce than the cars behind. I think it's definitely going to be a matter of time. Yeah, Tom Killer's also caught up now. 4 tenths between him and Robin. Grangebier pushes Robin off the circuit there. Now he brakes checks him.
And he's
wow.
Tom Killer as well. Tom Killer's got damage.
Tom Killer's got damage as well. What is Grangebier doing? I think that was just a misunderstanding there. Grangebier pushed Robin off, then he brake checked him accidentally. He wanted to let him through, and this has now resulted in Grangebier DNFing from the race, left the session. He's angry at himself more than anyone, I think. And now it's pretty much equal terms, Robin and Tom Killer. I think Robin's got a bit more damage, to be fair. He's lost all of his front left end plate, and this could allow Alice Killer to be in P2 now. So Grangebier has just lost all of the points for Force India here. This really just reset the mistake Alice Killer made in Dunlop Curve, and he's going to promote him probably in P2 as Tom Killer now earns himself a penalty. So net 1.7, 1.4 now off P3 for Alice Killer. So it's only a matter of time before he is in P2 essentially. He's still gonna lose a lot of points to Bad Boy, but only 7, so damage limitation on this race after that big mistake in Dunlop Curve. You cannot ask for a win. P2 is gonna be all he can achieve today.
Alice Killer already cut down that 8-second gap to about 4 seconds.
Yeah. They are losing a lot of time, especially Robin with a lot of damage. I think it's pretty much red now on the MFD. Either way, Tom Killer is going to try and make a move. He does indeed. Very nice, very clean move by Tom Killer. None of them pit, interestingly. Alice Killer also carrying on, 3.8 behind them. Robin is weaving from left to right, trying to pressurize Tom Killer, who has DRS now. As Robin goes extremely wide. I don't think he's going to be able to handle this much damage. It's extremely difficult on this game with damage, and also Tom Killer is also struggling. About yellow-orange from what I can see. He's lost a fair amount of his from right end plate. Yeah. Drama caused by Grangebier there on the run up to 130R. Damage to both drivers. Yeah. Alice Killer now on the back of Robin. Has a look on the hairpin. Lets him know he's there. Robin might as well let him through here. I think if I were Robin, I'd pit. Spaghetti's a 26 seconds behind. I think he is gonna come out behind him, but with super soft tyres if he's got any available. I think he does. Let's see here then. It's going to be interesting. Still a lot of fuel in the tank of the Ferrari. Very wide from Alice Killer. Slight contact with Robin there. Alice Killer has to wait an extra couple of corners here to get past Robin, who still stays out with 7 laps remaining. It's going to be very painful for Robin. A lot of damage on his front wing. Alice Killer, I think, is going to manage to go around the outside again here. Oh, that's a bit of lag there. Not sure where everyone is. A lot of lag. Alice Killer, I think, has got through now with Robin. Yeah. Way less downforce. Nothing you can do about that. And up next is Tom Killer, also with a fair amount of damage. Sorry there. Bad Boy, full front wing, soft tyres. He's looking good to win this race. Always have to keep an eye out on those front wings. Seem to be missing pretty much every car, right? Alice Killer very close to Tom Killer. I think Tom is going to make it too difficult for his teammate here, as he lets him through the hairpin very nicely. Tom Killer is pretty much going to secure P3 here, I'm pretty sure. So Ferrari somehow are still going to manage to gain points for Force India, very luckily, but not undeservedly, as Grange Beer pretty much lost that for Force India. It could be a crucial mistake for the end of the championship. It could be a championship costly mistake. As I will be right back in a second.
Oh no, actually, I think Alice's just got off. That's probably what it is. Only a couple of tests behind, we'll start to pull back now. We're just 1.2 behind Tom Killer, a bit more damage. We've got big gaps back to us, Stability and Warlock. And I think Warlock is AI at this point. Don't know how long he's been, I don't have AI, so that's good. So his points will be classified at the end of the race. It's after my retirement, he's going to put into bits actually. Probably just going to go try and get past the slab. He's on nothing to lose, Swanning's very far back. Bit on the super softs. Yeah, Robin is going to back from something like that's a little bit of a mistake there actually. Very good speed. Alice is just going to pull away from these guys to secure second place. Boy he's won this race. There's nothing anyone can really do about it. There's mistakes. Yellow 63. Mr. Wammy. Let him lap cars through. Wammy. Racing off. Not really been a lot of action in this race, but when the action has come, he is really just given us something to watch, really. Just very interesting race. There's a lot of the time, it's a lot of damage, especially on the opening lap, because we had 4 retirements within placing about 2 or 3 laps.
So no position changes. I can see Robin still 1.8 behind Tom Killer. Both of them with equal penalties, right?
Alice Killer has 1 penalty, Tom Killer has a penalty, Robin has 1 penalty. Yeah, they're all equal. Tom Killer does need to be careful about picking up another penalty because Robin is still quite close behind him. What's really going on now then in the final lap for this race? Apple was just dominated from the start really. A little bit of a hiccup just before the second phase of the race after the pit stops. It's been very convenient since then. Mommy has another spin. the race. It's not again. Got to wonder if this is possibly a glitch due to the result of people leaving the session. Never really known this game. It's a cold state. It's not again. Not actually going on the game.
Yeah, so I mean minus 1.7 of fuel.
It's just got a... I mean, you can go AI from this point, he's done enough in the race. Yeah, his points classified.
And if he does retire, I think... Actually, he's 2 laps down, so he's completed 23. Yeah, he has to go to the end to be classified, I think.
Oh yeah, that's true, so he's double lap behind.
Yeah. I think if he's 3 laps down, I don't think he's going to be classified. Because he won't even complete 90% of the race. That'd be about lap 25 and a sector, I imagine.
Well, we used to be laps down, so we can go a bit of that fuel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works.
Why don't you save it,
Oh, Robin goes very wide in these spin curves. Chill driver speaking, Falcon. Yeah, they say you're pretty quiet.
Yeah, it's not like really do a lot about it.
Okay. And Robin can outrun Rich to the end, but it couldn't matter too much. Unless Tom gets another penalty, which I doubt.
Certainly been some very controversial moments in this race then. A lot of
Indeed.
incidents involving Coroner's beer.
Yeah, pretty much every driver has been involved in a crash except Bad Boy. Alex Giller spinning in Dunlop by his own, Tom Kill and Robin getting tangled up with Grinchbeer. Spaghetti also, I'm pretty sure he had a early crash in lap 1, I believe. Warlock and Warlock and Swomey pretty much crashing every lap, to be honest. Yeah.
Bad Boy actually had a early collision just before the first pit stop with somebody easily.
Yeah, he lost his front wing before the first pit stop in lap 9, I believe, so yeah, everyone's lost their front wings today. With 5 DNFs as well. Bad Boy is now on the final 2 sectors, ready to claim his 4th race victory of the season, leaving Alex Killer in 3, but he's also 2nd in the championship still, 14 points behind Alex Killer heading to Mexico. Very dominant race by Bad Boy, 27 seconds ahead of Alex Killer. Didn't lose his cool when he lost his front wing. Regained the lead pretty much immediately a couple of laps later. And he's now gonna cross the line. It's gonna be the 4th win of the season here in Japan. Dominant victory by the Force India driver. 25 points at the back, reduces the gap to 14 points up in the driver standings by to Alex Killer, who's gonna finish in P2. He has got Swomey very close ahead of him. Alex Killer's got damage on the last lap. I don't know what Swomey's doing there. Yeah. So across the line for the Ferrari of Alex Killer. He's gonna finish the race with damage in style. Pretty much the race here. Everyone with damage, really. Yeah, Warlock's doing donuts in the last chicane. Tom Killer finishes in P3, makes it a double Ferrari podium, and also increases the gap on the constructor standings. So very good race for Ferrari overall there. Robin finishes in P4, very strong performance for him. And Spaghetti in P5.
Yeah, Warlock P6.
Yeah. Podium celebrations, 2 Ferraris, 2 Belgian drivers, and 1 British man up in the top step of the podium.
I don't know if this is on your screen as well, but there are 2 Force India drivers on the podium.
Really? And there's 1 Ferrari?
Yeah.
Great.
It's a brilliant game. Yeah. A lot of DNFs.
Yeah, this is your final classifications. Not sure if any penalties are going to be added on to anyone. I don't think Alice Keller did anything. Neither did Tom or Robin.
If any penalties were going to be added, they'd be going into the next race.
Indeed, yeah. I think anyone with penalties could be Swomy and Greenwich Beer, certainly.
Yeah.
Either way, we're going to invite the top 3 drivers into the party and ask them some questions about that race. So the top 3 have joined our party. Hello, Bad Boy, Alice Killer and Tom Killer. So Bad Boy, starting off with you, P1 today, 25 points. Congratulations on your 4th race win this season. You have got the most race wins so far in season 4 of F2. How do you feel after that race?
Happy, relieved and lucky, basically, after me losing my wing to a very stupid mistake.
Yeah, just imagine the pressure you had before the race. 21 points is a lot of points to cover with just 4 races to go. You did quite well today, very well actually. Dominant race from you. Just one small mistake. Perhaps the driver with the least mistakes this race and the least front wings lost. What happened in about lap 9 or 10? I can't actually remember the lap you lost your front wing.
Basically, I was coming in on that lap because I had spun on my qualifying lap, which were my tyres. But then Swomy was in front of me and he spun round and it completely caught me off guard. So I tried to, I was just concentrating on him as he was spinning, and I ended up spinning out myself right behind him. It's just a dirty error and an easy error, to be honest.
Yeah, didn't lose you the. It only lost you the lead temporarily. A couple of laps later, you regained it with Alice Killer spinning. So I think, yeah, pretty plain sailing for you today. Very quiet race. Yeah, as we said, just one small mistake, and yeah, you reduce the gap provisionally down to 14 points now, heading to Mexico with 3 races to go. Do you think you can pass Alex Killer in the driver standings and win the title from here?
Well, Mexico and Brazil are two of my favourite tracks, so hopefully I win them. But Abu Dhabi, I really don't like, so hopefully Alice does mess up and doesn't get a second or a third in either Mexico or Brazil to like try and relieve a bit of pressure. Then
No.
hopefully for
Won't happen.
Abu Dhabi, hopefully for Abu Dhabi I can just cruise to a win.
Okay, so heading to second place, Alex Killer, provisional P2 for you. Pretty damage limitation, got pretty lucky today. In all honesty, 18 points for you. The gap is now down to P14 to 14 points, heading to Mexico. What happened in that mistake in Dunlop Curve, which essentially cost you the win, perhaps, of this race. What happened on that incident?
Well, I went in with a lot of speed. I went in a little bit wide, and well, I felt a little bit of understeer, and I steered into it, and I just lost it.
Okay.
And that was it.
So do you
was
think
my race?
Yeah. Do you think you should have gone on a soft tires for the second stint?
No, because I was like at 60% at the end with my mediums, so I was like, nah.
Fair enough. We did see the majority of the drivers going mediums for the second stint, except Bad Boy. Pretty much everyone went mediums for their second stints. So yeah, very good start from you. Looked like you could have got involved in the battle with the Force Indias. Eventually got past Grangebeer and Bad Boy on the first pit stops with Bad Boy's damage and all that, but then a mistake pretty much. It looked like you couldn't even got a top 5 there, but luckily you got a P2 in the end. So I think you can only be happy with that. P2.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the best you could ask for. So do you think you can fend off Bad Boy with 3 races to go for the title fight?
Well, I think I have a chance, but if he shows this pace again in like Mexico, well, then I'm screwed. Pretty much. So
yeah.
Well, I'll try.
Yeah, Bad Boy did seem pretty fast today, to say the least. So I think you have to up your game to win the championship this season. I don't think it's out of the question. You're leading it at the end of the day. So yeah, if anything, you have got the right to win this season. But either way, we'll see next race. Moving on to Tom Killer. Another podium, very good performance by you. So yeah, it looks pretty decent in the constructors for Ferrari. Do you think you can do anything better in Mexico, or will you still try to help Alice as much as you can in the championship fight for the drivers?
We'll still help it.
Hey.
It's
Still help.
it's for Ferrari.
Yeah.
Forza
Okay.
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did gain a lot of points on Grimsby as well in the driver standing, so I think you can pretty much secure P3 in the drivers yourself, so I think you can be happy with that. Meanwhile, you know, at the same time, securing the constructors looks pretty realistic for Ferrari in the next couple of races. I think it was 22 points before this race. It's even gone up by I think 8 points, so 30-point gap in the constructors. You wouldn't say it's healthy, but it is a very solid gap, and with double podium finishes, you won't go anywhere else than P1 by the end of the season. So unless we have any questions in the chat, or is anything you guys want to say to the stream?
Should I drive with a wheel? Because I have one standing here, but I don't use
Probably.
What will you have?
So
The 80s. That's just I got it, but I don't like it. You don't. It feels like you're driving nothing.
no force feedback.
Yeah, it's just like you're driving nothing. It's just annoying to drive in it. So I just put it in the back somewhere.
Yeah, I understand.
Probably buy a new one. So.
I got a small question. I was
One of
lagging
those.
and I was
Yeah.
behind Robin.
Yeah, that's exactly what
affect him?
Robin just said. He said
Yeah.
you overtook him due to lag, and it was on the stream as well. It lagged. You were behind him, then lagged, and you were in front of him. So
Yeah, like I was.
Houdini.
I didn't know what was happening.
yeah,
So yeah, I was
that
going
was
around.
weird. I don't know
aside
how
of
that
him.
works.
I tried. Yeah, I just don't know.
Oh,
It's just T-Sync behind you.
oh snap!
Easy overtake.
Yeah.
The
I've
chill
got
is
a
in
question.
Oh,
Yeah,
What happened with my teammate?
he
I
got
wasn't
fucked.
paying attention. So all of a sudden I saw him in second, you know, quite comfortable, and then next minute he's retired.
Nah,
You
I
hit the
crushed
wall.
him. Nah, I put him in the barriers.
And then
Barely.
he was holding up Robin for me, because I want to get on the podium. And
Oh.
yeah, and he just brake checked me mid straight. So like, okay, and I was really mad. I'm looking at
Slapped
him.
his ass to the
I'm
next
looking at
dimension.
him and I'm gonna slap him, really. But yeah, he just brake checked and he just brake checked Robin as well. Like, he wants to qualify a race ban, he says.
No, don't.
No, yes, he wants.
Yes, do
yes.
Jesus Christ,
Yes.
easy,
Constructors.
constructors. Jeez.
Okay, so I
So,
think I'm gonna round it off there. Gonna tune in next week, the same time. Well, 3 races to go now in this championship. Alice Killer leads the way by 14 points. Bad Boy in P2 and Tom Killer following pretty closely in P3. Tune in next time in Mexico to see what happened there. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the World Cup. See you. Take care.